Listen, if you've been battling chronic brain fog, persistent fatigue, or just really struggling with neurodivergent focus, you might be dealing with what experts call a cellular brownout. You're just not getting the power you need. Well, let's dive right into this explainer because today we're taking a massive, complex clinical protocol and translating it into a clear 60-day roadmap for reversing that cellular exhaustion. We're going to walk through the exact nutrition and lifestyle guide designed specifically for beginners to take back control of their metabolic highway. Welcome to the MTHFR and Neurodivergent Optimization Protocol.
To make this completely accessible, we're going to tackle this journey in 5 steps. First, the MTHFR and energy bottleneck. Second, clean sourcing and daily habits. Third, our optimization protocol for days 1 to 30. Fourth, the protocol for days 31 to 60. And finally, monitoring your recovery and energy.
All right, part 1, the MTHFR and energy bottleneck. Let's talk about the roadblock that's actually causing all this. So, before we can fix the engine, we have to understand why it's stalling. And the crucial point here is that a variation in your MTHFR gene is basically creating a massive biochemical traffic jam, literally starving your cells of energy. The crazy part? Up to 60% of the population carries this variation. If you have it, your body simply cannot efficiently produce the enzyme required to convert vitamin B9 into its active form, which is methylfolate. It's like your metabolic highway suddenly hits a broken toll booth. Everything just backs up. This bottleneck stops your body from processing toxins, halts the creation of vital neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, and ultimately, it leads to systemic inflammation.
Now, for years, we've all been told to consume folic acid, right? It's hidden in almost all fortified cereals and breads. But here's the catch. Folic acid is 100% synthetic. For someone with an MTHFR variation, trying to process it is like pouring sludge into a Ferrari. It causes a toxic traffic jam, demands extreme liver conversion, and worse, it leads to a buildup of unmetabolized folic acid, or UMFA, in your bloodstream. This literally blocks your brain's receptors. So what's the solution? You completely bypass the roadblock using active methylfolate, or folinic acid. It acts as a metabolic express lane, giving your cells immediate fuel and repair. Moving right along to part 2, clean sourcing and daily habits. It's time to build your biological shield.
You know, sourcing your food isn't just some trendy dietary phase. It is an absolute must to block the chemical saboteurs that are shutting down your gut's battery. Take glyphosate, for example. That's the pesticide found on most conventional crops. The research shows that glyphosate is actually a molecular imposter. It mimics an amino acid called glycine, acting like a fake key that jams right into your cellular locks, wiping out beneficial gut bacteria and totally halting your ATP energy production. By committing to organic, non-GMO foods, eating pasture-raised eggs for brain-boosting choline, and choosing wild-caught fish, you're physically blocking those saboteurs and finally supplying your body with the clean building blocks it desperately needs.
But it's not just about food. You have to align your lifestyle software with 3 foundational habits if you want to flip the switch from survival mode to active energy production. Remember, your biology is totally time-dependent. Getting 15 to 20 minutes of morning sunlight before 10 a.m. physically calibrates your circadian rhythm. Adding 150 minutes of Zone 2 cardio every week acts like a flush for cellular soot. And crucially, taking 3 to 5 grams of pure glycine alongside magnesium in the evening creates a protective buffer. It saturates your receptors so toxins can't bind, while easing you into a state of deep, truly restorative sleep.
When you piece all of this together, it builds an ideal daily rhythm. This is the precise 24-hour cadence you're going to follow across all 60 days of the protocol. Every single day operates on this schedule. Start with an AM elixir to ignite your cells, move to a choline-dense breakfast, hit a folate-rich lunch, grab afternoon snacks loaded with brain-fueling minerals, settle down with a dinner focused on deep tissue repair, and finish with those night habits to buffer your nervous system. Okay, part 3, optimization protocol for days 1 to 30. This is the reset and support phase. So during days 1 through 15, every single elixir and meal has a very specific biological purpose entirely focused on methylation priming. Basically, during these first 2 weeks, we are actively flushing out that toxic buildup of synthetic folic acid. Your morning starts with a methyl clear tonic, just magnesium and lemon to hydrate and sweep the system. Breakfast is a choline-dense poached featuring pasture-raised eggs and spinach to immediately saturate your receptors with natural active folate. And later meals, like a marine omega bowl with wild sardines, leverage intense marine lipids to really kickstart the communication between your gut and your brain.
Then, as you transition into days 16 to 30, the menu strategically shifts. Now, we want to deepen your reserves of zinc and magnesium to act as armor. Why? Because when you suddenly unblock the MTHFR pathway, your body's engine can actually rev a little too fast, causing jitteriness or anxiety. To counter this, your morning elixir becomes a zinc and ginger spark. We introduce a lecithin neurosmoothie for breakfast, packed with phospholipids to rebuild cognitive clarity. And dinner elevates to meals like a cruciferous ribeye, pairing high-quality grass-fed iron with Brussels sprouts to deliver sulforaphane. That's a compound that absolutely supercharges your liver's detoxification pathways.
Which brings us to part 4, the optimization protocol for days 31 to 60. This is where we excel and optimize.
In the second half of this roadmap, for days 31 to 45, our focus elevates to repairing synapses and supporting dopamine. We introduce high-quality amino acids and dense marine lipids, strictly formulated to enhance your neuroplasticity and keep you in a flow state. The goal is to maximize a protein called BDMF, which is basically miracle grow for your brain. Your AM elixir transitions to a matcha theanine focus, pairing caffeine with a glycine buffer so you get laser focus with zero crash. A breakfast of nopales and pastured eggs perfectly stabilizes your blood sugar to keep dopamine steady. And a dinner of yellowtail ceviche supplies heavy-hitting omega-3s to actively repair the nervous system. And finally, days 46 to 60. This is where we reach your epigenetic zenith, maximizing your cellular resilience against oxidative stress. Your morning kicks off with a potent turmeric ginger ignite to lower systemic inflammation. For breakfast, you're having an ancestral hash made of sweet potatoes and grass-fed beef liver. Now I know beef liver might sound a little intense, but it is nature's ultimate multivitamin. It perfectly maximizes your natural B12 and active folate absorption. And for your daily snack, we introduce hot beef bone broth. It acts as a molecular glue, using proline and glycine to permanently seal the tight junctions in your gut barrier. All right, part 5, monitoring recovery and energy, because we need to know this is actually working.
Before we wrap, there is a crucial thing you absolutely need to know about, the Herxheimer reaction. If you feel exhausted, get a mild headache, or just feel kind of off during those first 3 to 7 days of the protocol, do not panic and do not quit. This reaction is simply a temporary healing crisis. It happens because your body is finally clearing out a massive amount of pathogenic microbes and flushing out that toxic baseline. It is literally biological proof that the protocol is working. Drink plenty of water, get some rest, and just trust the process.
To really track your recovery, you need to pull the right levers to manage inflammation and rebuild tissue, especially after demanding physical days. Think of it as a troubleshooting checklist. Feeling muscle cramps? Check your electrolyte and magnesium sources. Grab some spinach, avocados, or pumpkin seeds. If your joints are sore, you need to up your anti-inflammatory fats with more sardines and extra virgin olive oil. For muscle repair, make sure you're getting high-quality protein from eggs and lentils. And if you need to restore energy without spiking your blood sugar, lean on complex carbs like sweet potatoes and quinoa.
Now keep this number in mind. Even though our day-to-day guide covers 60 days, establishing a completely new, sustained energy baseline and achieving full mitochondrial biogenesis, that's a 90-day biological marathon. Your gut bacteria can shift rapidly, sure, but physically rebuilding those new, highly efficient cellular engines takes time. So whatever you do, stick with the habits.
Because ultimately, your DNA is not your destiny. Your genetics might load the gun, but your environment, that pulls the trigger. So how will you use this protocol to spark your own gut renaissance starting tomorrow morning? We've walked through the roadmap to unblock your MTHFR pathway, source the cleanest fuel, and rebuild your neurotransmitters day by day. You have the tools to reverse the exhaustion. Now, it's time to take the wheel. Thanks for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you next time as we continue to break down the science of optimal performance.